Hello, my dear students. Today we are going to study Poem 7, The Stolen Boat, written by the famous romantic poet William Wordsworth. This poem is included in your SSLC 10th Standard First Language English Textbook Part 2. This poem is based on a childhood experience of the poet. Through a simple incident of taking a boat without permission, Wordsworth shows how nature acts as a powerful moral teacher. The poem highlights feeling of excitement, fear, guilt, and deep self-realization. This poem has no separate stanzas. It is written as one continuous poem in blank verse. Now let's begin. The first part of the poem is Stealing the Boat. The poem begins on a calm summer evening. The young boy finds a small boat tied to a willow tree inside a rocky cave. Without permission, he loosens the chain and quietly rows away. He feels joy but also fear because he knows his act is wrong. Wordsworth described this feeling as troubled pleasure, showing guilt mixed with excitement. Let me give you an example for this. The shining ripples on the water slowly merge into one silver line under the moonlight, showing peace and secrecy. Now, let me move on to the next part of the poem, that is pride and confidence. As the boy rows further, his fear disappears and pride takes over. He feels confident about his rowing skills and aims towards a distant ridge. The lake is silent and the boat moves smoothly like a swan. At this moment, the boy feels powerful and forgets that he has done something wrong. For an example, the poet compares the boat movement to a swan gliding gracefully on water. The next part is Appearance of the Huge Peak. Suddenly, the mood of the poem changes. A huge black mountain peak rises from behind the ridge. It looks frightening and alive. As if it has its own will, the peak blocks the stars and appears to move towards the boy. Nature now shows its terrifying power. For an example, the mountain seems to grow taller and darker, standing between the boy and the sky. Now let's move on to the next part, that is fear and escape. The boy is filled with fear, his confidence vanishes, and his hands tremble as he rows back desperately. He feels that the mountain is chasing him. In panic, he turns the boat and rows quickly back to the willow tree, returning the boat to its place. For an example, the trembling oars show the boy fear and helplessness before nature. The next part is guilt and mental impact. After returning the boat, the boy walks home quietly and seriously. No one punishes him, but his mind is deeply disturbed. For many days, the memory of a huge peak troubles his thoughts and dreams. The beauty of nature disappears, replaced by dark and powerful images. For an example, pleasant images of trees, sky, and fields vanishes from his mind. Students, now let's see what is the conclusion. The Stolen Boat is a poem about moral awakening. The poet's small act of stealing gives him temporary joy but leaves a deep psychological effect. Nature shown through the mountain silently teaches him a lesson about humility, fear, and respect. Wordsworth suggests that nature shapes human character more effectively than punishment. Students, now let's see what is the moral. The poem teaches us that wrong actions may give short lived pleasure but lead to guilt and fear. Nature is powerful and must be respected. Our conscience punishes us more strongly than any external authority. Through this childhood experience, the poet learns to be humble and respectful towards nature. Thus, Wordsworth beautifully shows that nature is a silent but powerful moral guide. Thank you, students, for listening. If you like the video, give a thumbs up, share, and do comment. See you in the next class. Until then, bye.